Today is June 9th, 2026, and here are the latest news updates in the world of tech and in business. AI agents are no longer a pilot, platforms are shipping, bills are arriving, and small businesses are next in line. Microsoft releases open standard to govern what AI agents are allowed to do. So on June 2nd, Microsoft published the Agent Control Specification, ACS, an open source standard that lets developers define exactly what an AI agent may do, must not do, when it needs human approval, and what it must log. The specification introduced inception points, checkpoints during task execution where policies are enforced before an agent acts. Microsoft is positioning ACS as a layer that sits above individual agent tools to bring consistency across multi-agent workflows. And this is from TechCrunch. Context: until now, AI agents governance has been really ad hoc. It's a little wild west out there. So each platform has its own guardrails, right, making it hard to deploy agents confidently across enterprise systems. So ACS is Microsoft's attempt to create a standard vocabulary for agent behavior, similar to how OAuth, standardized authentication. Implication for businesses deploying agents across tools like Copilot, Azure, third-party platforms. ACS could dramatically reduce the compliance and liability friction that has slowed adoption. For small businesses using off-the-shelf agent tools, the downstream effect is safer, more predictable automation within 12 to 18 months if adoption follows. So hopefully this is a good thing. In the beginning when it was pretty chaotic. People were blowing thousands of dollars away because they didn't have the correct guardrails, right? So this is Microsoft's version of putting the guardrails in. Meta deploys business agent globally on WhatsApp, directly targeting SMBs. So Meta launched this Meta Business Agent globally on WhatsApp and Instagram DMs as early as June 2026. The agent handles customer queries, recommends products, books appointments, qualified leads, and escalates to human staff when needed. All inside messaging apps businesses already use. The rollout directly competes with custom chatbot setups that previously required dev resources to build. WhatsApp is already the primary customer communication channel for tens of millions of small businesses globally, especially in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Middle East. Meta has spent years building business tools on the platform, and this is really the logical point of that investment. And the implication is that small business owners who previously needed a developer or third-party chatbot tool to automate customer conversations now have a first-party free tier option inside the tools their customers already use. And then the next piece is Hub's Copilot billing shifts deliver rude awakening on AI agent costs. So the costs are going up now. On June 1st, 2026, GitHub moved all Copilot plans to a usage-based billing model called GitHub AI credits. No more subscription, like pretty much unlimited subscription cap. It's just you get charged what you use. New features include user level budgets and upgraded Copilot Max tier. Early reports show sharp cost surprises for small teams and solo developers who have been running code agents under flat rate subscriptions. And in some cases, costs tripled overnight. So GitHub offered flat rate Copilot subscriptions since 2022. The usage-based shift mirrors what happened with cloud computing in 2010 to 2015, where the shift from on-premise to consumption pricing created budget chaos before businesses adapted. For businesses that have begun relying on AI agents for coding, research, or content workflows, the cost modeling is entering a phase of unpredictability. Teams without usage monitoring in place will face bill shock. This is less a GitHub problem and more a preview of how all major AI platforms will eventually price agentic usage. So keep in mind, like if you're using Claude subscriptions or Codex subscriptions or any of the monthly type subscriptions out there, like right now it's almost like a all-you-can-eat buffet. But once eventually these platforms will most likely start switching, just like following suit like GitHub, they're going to charge on usage so they don't lose a lot of money on certain individuals that are just burning through tokens, which right now they're trying to get you into the system, right? But eventually they're going to switch over because now you're bought in, you're running all these automations, and the agents need the AI, the LLM, the subscriptions, the token calls to process. And now once you're locked in, they're going to start switching. So that's something to keep in mind. Gartner and McKinsey data reveals a massive execution gap in AI agent adoption. According to Gartner, 40% of enterprise applications will integrate AI agents by the end of 2026, but McKinsey's concurrent data tells a more sobering story. 62% of organizations are experiencing with agents, while only 23% have scaled them. That's a 39-point gap between experimentation and real deployment. So there's still that gap of we're trying out AI, but are we actually using it for the benefit of the organization? So AI adoption has historically followed some familiar pattern. Early pilots cluster around IT and R&D, and scaling requires process design, change management, and stakeholder buy-in that companies underestimate. The same pattern played out with cloud migration and data analytics. The implication is the execution gap is the business opportunity. Companies and agencies that can bridge experimentation to scale deployment with clear playbooks, governance frameworks, and ROI measurement will win disproportionately over the next 18 months. So President Trump signed an executive order on June 2nd and requesting that AI companies voluntarily provide new models to the federal government by benchmarking up to 30 days before public release. The focus on assessing advanced cyber capabilities. The same week, Anthropic expanded Project Glasswing, a cybersecurity initiative built around Claude Mythos previews, a model trained to identify software vulnerabilities to a broader set of companies. So overall, the context is the order follows a pattern of federal attention on AI capabilities that can be weaponized or used for surveillance. Notably, the order is voluntary, a softer approach compared to the EU AI Act mandatory requirements, which are now in enforcement phase. So overall implications for AI vendors, this signals the US government is entering AI governance conversation with real leverage. Even if it's voluntary today, for businesses buying AI tools, it's a reminder that regulatory landscape for the tools that rely on is actively shifting. Right? To be honest, it's one of those few things I agree with what Trump and the government's doing. Having better regularization is key. And the next point is remote work is quietly reshaping who gets hired, and young workers are paying the price. So new research from Federal Reserve Bank of New York published on June 2nd found that remote work accounts for 64% of the rise in youth unemployment among recent college grads since the pandemic. Companies running fully distributed teams have become less willing to hire entry-level workers who require in-person mentorship, opting instead for experienced remote workers who need less handholding. This contradicts the dominant narrative that AI is primarily a threat to early career employment. The New York Fed data suggests structural changes in how companies staff and onboard, not automation, are near-term driver of youth unemployment. Those are the highlights of the recent news right now. Stay connected and subscribe for more updates in the future.